Welcome back, everybody. This video is going to be a little different than the normal videos that I put out. In this video, it's going to be basically I am reading your questions and I'm going to answer them. Now, I've been away from making videos for a couple of weeks at least, and I just wanted to explain the reason why is because my wife took vacation and she decided to take a really long vacation this year, and I wanted to spend time with her. You know, it's very rare that we get to actually spend a lot of time together. So it was me, my wife, and Noah for the past 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and it was phenomenal. I loved it. So she's actually back to work, and I wanted to go ahead and get these videos out, and I thought, you know, what video to put out first to get back into the swing of things than a video answering a lot of your questions and responding to some of the comments that you've made. Now, I did want to mention that the easiest way to keep up with what's going on in the channel, or maybe upcoming videos or projects, is, you know, join my Telegram chat group. It's a very friendly group, and I only have 2 rules, and that is be nice to each other and don't post anybody else's content except for mine. Now, of course, that is without talking to me first. You know, if you have something funny, you know, and it might be something that I think the rest of the group might want to see, of course, you know, I'm going to let you post it. But what I'm saying basically is don't come into the group and just start posting all of your YouTube videos or one of your buddies' YouTube videos. You know, that, again, those are the only 2 rules I have. Be nice to each other. Don't post YouTube videos. All right? Okay, again, as I said, this video here is going to be for me to address some of the comments that were made on a lot of different videos. And I thought, what better way to start things back off, you know, than to me go through, grab what I thought were the topics that were brought up the most, and just answer them in a video format. So, without further ado, when we come back, we are going to go ahead and have a questions and answers session. So, don't go away. Well, the first thing I want to bring up is my computer that used to sit right there in the background for, I think, as long as I've had this channel. Finally died. It was about 3 days ago. And so I pulled it out of here, read that all off. So I am PC-less. That's not to say I don't have something to edit videos with, because my Gigabyte Aero 15 is a phenomenal laptop. And I am editing 4K videos on that like gangbusters, which I will discuss later in this video, because again, those were one of the questions that was brought up a lot in the comments section. So we're going to discuss that later on again in this video. The second thing I want to discuss before we really get into this was content. Okay, lately the content has changed, and that has been a direct result of course, the way things are financially in the world and in our nation. It is very hard for me to purchase out-of-pocket items for reviewing, even purchasing apps. You guys know I don't like to review the free version of an app. I like to purchase it. That way, I know what you're getting if you go out and purchase the app. And I can be as accurate as I can be, you know, by at least having that full program or full app. So I did want to bring that up. Hopefully things are going to start getting a little better. And, you know, again, when that happens, things are going to start turning around again. Again, like I said, I was just taking a vacation, and, and I'm done. And now it's time for me to get back into the swing of things. On that last note, I was contacted by a company, and I thought this was going to be a really cool way for me to make a couple of videos for you all, and this was definitely tech related. So those of you out there that like watching my videos and like the tech videos, you would have liked this product. And basically it was a weather station. I mean, it had everything in it. You know, it had your wind speed, your anemometer, everything and anything you could imagine that is involved in gathering weather data and stuff like that was all included in this system. And they were going to send it to me, and they wanted me to make a video on it, but the problem was I actually got a message from Google, and Google basically said, you may want to be careful with this link. It has been reported to us as not a safe link to go to. And I did a little more research into it, and I just decided, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. If I can afford to purchase this out of pocket later on, I may just purchase it from Amazon, because they did actually have this thing on Amazon, and you can definitely order it. I just didn't feel good about the whole way things were being done. That's why I decided against it. But now, the way I figured I was going to do this video is I'm going to break it up into 3 sections, and I will try to post time stamps below for those of you that don't want to sit through certain parts of the video. You can go to it, so look for the timestamps in the video description below. But basically what this is going to be on is, first is going to be on guitar tech, second is going to be on tech, which is everything under the tech umbrella, and then last but not least is going to be various stuff that falls outside of those 2 categories. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into the guitar tech questions and answers first. Okay, so the first one, Mr. Alex asked me what strings we used on that video that we did on Noah's Inspired by Gibson line, Epiphone J200. The strings that we used on that guitar in that particular video were Elixirs, and they were the 8020 bronze nano web strings. And of course, the gauge that we used in the video, at least I think, because I think we did 2 different videos, but in the one I posted under Hayes Tech, they were the 12 to 53s, and those of course are the upper end of the light gauge string, so it's like right on the edge of being light and medium. The other strings that we use on that guitar are the ones that cross over into the medium, and of course they would be the 13 to 56s. But we like to use Elixir strings on all of our guitars. If I can't get the Elixir strings that I like, we will switch over to Diodaros, and for no other reason than I like the sound of Elixir strings. I always have. You really can't, honestly, I don't think you can tell much of a difference between the strings, but I can, and I can hear the difference. I like Elixirs. So that's what he asked, what strings we used on that guitar, and that's your answer. Now next, we have a question from Randy down at Randy's Rhythms. He asked me about my 1965 Epiphone Texan. That is the FT79N, which of course is the natural version. They actually made 2 of them. They made it in the natural finish, and then of course they made it in a sunburst finish. He asked me, did I get it back yet? How's it working? And Randy, I did get the guitar back. They did change the saddle on it, and he put a bone saddle, an Epiphone style. I don't know if you guys can see that. He put a period correct adjustable bone saddle on it. Now we will be doing a video on that guitar soon, so be looking for that. I did want to bring up though, before I move on, I would love to send that guitar out to a luthier. I think he's out towards Pittsburgh, and have him go over the guitar, because it's got a muted sound, and I thought something was wrong with the guitar. I actually thought either it was the nut slots were too low, or is something. I thought something was wrong, because it seemed like the bottom 3 strings were kind of muted when you were playing them. Here what we found out was the rosewood saddle that guitar came with actually it was kind of mushy on the higher strings, and so we switched it over to bone. It does sound a lot better, but it still has that, I can't explain it. But then I got to remembering that I'm so used to playing my Recording King and my Alvarez, and they have a bone saddle that is set down into the bridge, and it contacts the bridge at the bottom. I mean, there's no air gaps between the saddle and the bridge on those guitars, and I got used to that. Whereas this guitar, there's a big air gap in there. The only thing that's contacting the saddle to the guitar or the bridge is the two adjustment screws on each end. And yeah, it kind of sounded weird to me, but if you think about it, that's how that guitar sounded in, 1965, and a lot of Beatles songs were written with that guitar. So, I mean, it is what it is. But what I would like to do is, again, just completely get rid of the adjustable saddle. I've seen a lot of people, upgrade their guitars and get rid of that. But I think if I do that, it may actually require a neck reset. So we'll see how, things are financially, and if I can, I'll go ahead and see if I can do that. Now, that could open up a can of whoop-ass there. So, moving on. So, if you are into fingerstyle or you want to learn fingerstyle, go over and check out Randy's channel. It's Randy's Rhythm. If you want to learn how to play fingerstyle, he is a very good teacher. He takes his time. His videos are not short. He's like me. He doesn't care how long the videos go. And again, he's good at what he does. So go check out Randy's Rhythm and tell him I sent you. Now, on that video I did on my Alvarez MD60BG, I had somebody comment on that video asking me about what glue they used to glue the neck onto the body. And they were saying that they used epoxy. And I said, no, they don't use epoxy. They either use a wood glue or a fish glue, hide glue, something like that. But they do not use epoxy. And they said, no, they do use epoxy. So what I did was I went over to Alvarez. They have a YouTube channel. And I actually commented on, I think, 2 or 3 of their videos. They finally answered me on the last one. And I get it. They got a lot of people that makes comments. So half the time they probably don't have the time to, get to where my comment was. But I was lucky enough that I posted my comment early into their video. So I know they got a chance to read it. And I asked them, I said, do you guys use epoxy or do you use a wood glue with the construction of your guitars, especially with your neck joints? And they said no. No epoxy anywhere is used on their guitars. What they use is a wood glue. And they actually said that within the past 5 years or so, they've actually switched to a more eco-friendly wood glue. So before they were using something like a tight bond or, something like that. Whereas what they're using now, I guess, doesn't gas off as much. Like if you purchase a new Epiphone, and like Noah's J200, which is an awesome guitar. You'll notice when you open up the guitar case, you smell, what it smells like is white glue. And I think that's what they mean. I think they switched to a glue that does not have that, off gas. Because anytime you use a wood glue, you're going to get that. But to answer the question again, they use white glue. They do not use epoxy in any of their guitar constructions. So I want to thank Alvarez for answering that question for me. That way I could get out the proper information out to all of you. Now, a Donald Music commented on one of my Recording King videos, and I can't remember which one it was, but he commented that the Alvarez MD60BG is another outstanding guitar. If you're planning on, picking up a guitar in that budget range, to look no further than the Alvarez. And again, I commented back to him and said, yeah, I know. I have the Alvarez MD60BG, which of course is the mahogany version. And I love the sound of that guitar. So, Donald Music, yes, I have an Alvarez MD60BG, and you are correct. They are outstanding guitars. I highly recommend them. Paul Bastian asked if I was going to do like a 2022 update on the Recording King. And the answer to that is yes. I did a 6-month video on that, how everything's going 6 months later. And I kind of wanted to do a 1-year update. Now, it's been a little over a year, But that is a video coming up very soon, so be looking for that. And again, I just want to thank Paul Bastian for bringing that question up. And we will get that video out. Actually, I think I'm going to do it after I do the Epiphone video. So be looking for that. Finally, in the guitar questions and answers, this is more of a comment for me. I reached out to a company called Boxwood Guitars, and I asked them if they had any loaner guitars or sample guitars they sent out to YouTube creators to make videos on. And to be honest with you, I didn't think I was going to get a response from them, and I don't blame them, because again, I only have around 5,100 subscribers, but my guitar videos usually get a lot of views, in the 20,000 and up. So I was surprised though when he did comment back, and he said absolutely. The problem is with another YouTuber putting out a video and letting everybody see his guitars, everybody purchased all the ones that he had made. And he is an American who is making guitars out of his home. So they are handmade guitars, all solid wood. The big difference between these guitars and like my Epiphone or a Martin or my Recording King, it is as the name refers, boxwood. It's a rectangular shaped box type guitar. And I was kind of leery about it at first, but when I saw the videos, there was a couple videos I watched on YouTube, because there's not a whole lot of them. He puts out a few videos, and of course, this Jeremy put out one, and I couldn't believe the sound of these guitars. For being a rectangle guitar, it didn't sound like it. It sounded like a Martin or a Gibson, and he'll make them out of all kind of different wood. And the really cool thing about the guitars that he makes is he doesn't have to have the full-size piece of wood where a Martin or a Gibson would have. He can use smaller cuts of wood. So the stuff they would throw away, he can use in his guitars. And I just think that's awesome what he's doing. Another nice thing about his guitars are they are under $1,000. So expect to pay what you would for like a Recording King or the Alvarez or Epiphone, something like that. That's about where his guitars are. I've actually seen comments where somebody, I think, paid around $550 for one. Now, that could have been a while back. I'm not sure. But be looking for that video coming. As soon as he has one available, he said he's going to send it out to me, and I will be getting a video out on that. Now on to the tech. The first thing is concerning what 4K budget action camera should you get if you are in, say, the market for a 4K action camera. And I tell everybody, and the reason I don't have any names for who made this comment, this is one of the comments that I get most. And I always tell everybody, if you can only afford around $130-ish, I highly recommend the Akaso Brave 7LE. And even though it is not, they don't say it's waterproof unless it's in a waterproof housing case. It is water resistant to rain and stuff like that. The video quality is phenomenal out of that camera. And the image stabilization is also very, very good. Now, if you can move up to around 180 to 200, depending on whether or not they're on sale, XTU X1 all the way. That thing, for what you're paying for on that camera, you are getting a phenomenal video camera and action camera. Again, they say their cameras are waterproof without putting it in the waterproof case. Up to, I think it's like 100 feet. It's like 30 meters. So that's right around 100 feet. And if you want to go deeper, put it in its weatherproof case and you'll be fine. The video quality out of that camera, out of the XTU X1, is just phenomenal. I use it more than I use my GoPro, and that says a lot. Now, does the GoPro have a better image than the XTU X1? I'd have to say yeah, slightly. And the image stabilization is a little better in the GoPro, But again, you're talking about a $400 camera and a $200 camera. So there you go. Chuck Davenport commented on my video on the Islander Southhold that he had many different watches too. Yes, you can never have too many watches. Every time I see something new that's that's cool looking, I want it. Again, I have watches that range from $30 that are, complete mechanical watches for $30. All the way up to, again, my Mudmaster, which this is a $700 watch. And I always said I would never pay a lot of money for a watch. I just don't believe in spending that kind of money on a watch. If I had the money, expendable, there are a couple different watch brands out there that I would spend the money on and get a really nice, watch. But to be honest with you, the ones that are in the, $200 to $400 range are just as good, in my opinion, as some of those other ones. They're not made of gold or silver. You're paying for the name. Again, guys, that's just my opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. So, now, Swift Detecting, yep, that's his handle. Swift Detecting asked if there were any other names for the Panasonic HCBX981. And I should actually be answering this on this camera here because this is my Panasonic HCBX981. The answer to that question, and again, he wasn't the only one to ask me this. He was the first one, and we had this long back and forth. So his name was the one that I actually pulled up. The short answer to that is no. They do have different levels that you can get for that, like internal storage differences. You can get one with a camera, rear-facing camera that faces you on the flip screen. But as far as just the basic run of the camera, this is the one I got. This is the one I know about. I'm not familiar with any of the other brands. Yes, I can still recommend this camera. I love this camera. Now, I did want to just give a shout out to Mad Watch Collection YouTube channel. He did help me out with a few questions I had on a couple watches. So again, shout out to that channel, Mad Watch Collection. Thank you very much. Now, Terry Watkins asked about the pull-out crown on the fake Casio Mudmaster video that I did. He asked me, he said, well, if you couldn't pull that button out, how did you set the time? Well, that watch you actually set the time by pushing the buttons. I'm telling you, that thing was such a cheap watch. It was just, the only thing about that watch that was nice was that it looked like a Mudmaster, and man, they did a phenomenal job with that. But again, yeah, I mean, that pull-out button where we're talking about right here, that actually screws out to unlock, and then you pull it out. Then you set your time by turning it, or you put different time zones in, or the best way to do it is let it sync with the radio signal coming from the Midwest somewhere. And again, every night, syncs the watch, and you're good to go. That's how I could tell. That was one of the ways I could tell it was a fake watch. Now, I've had a lot of questions on the Dragon Touch Vision 4 action camera, and I just wanted to make one comment on probably one of the most watched videos I've ever put out. The Dragon Touch Vision 4 was the upgrade from the Dragon Touch Vision 3, and even though you can still get the Vision 3, I would definitely spend the extra $10 and get the Vision 4, because you're getting image stabilization with that, and it's just a better camera. If you're looking for an action camera for around the $50 mark, that is still a very good camera at a very good price. Now, I wanted to talk about HP again. HP puts out a pretty good product, okay? I mean, I'm running this HP right here, but I've had a lot of issues with it. I just had a problem with my warranty with it. I purchased the warranty the first time, and I never got it. They said they never got paid. Even though it came out of my bank account, I could see that it came out. They said they never got it. I wasn't going to pay again, but I said, you know what, I'm going to, and I'm going to track everything this time. And I did. I took pictures, I took screenshots, everything. And again, the same thing. So I got hold of their maintenance department and said, I've got receipts for everything. You guys need to fix this. So again, guys, I just can't recommend HP computers. I just can't. With all the crap that I've had to deal with both of these HP laptops, I can't recommend them. Yeah, I know a lot of other people who have purchased them, they haven't had any problems at all. But it seems like both of the HP laptops that I got, I had problems with. So, there you go. I also wanted to bring up that my Gigabyte Aero 15 is running like a gangbuster. I've had that now for, what, 6 months, 8 months? And with the HP laptops, I already had issues with those laptops, even the one that they sent me. And I've had 0 issues with my Gigabyte Aero 15. Not only that one, but Noah's Acer Nitro 5, same thing. No problems at all. That thing is running like a gangbuster. And he plays nothing but the highest end video games on his laptop that you can play. He's really into gaming, and his laptop never slows down. And he loves it. So, again, I can highly recommend the Gigabyte Aero 15 and the Acer Nitro 5. So, okay, last but not least, these are just kind of odds and ends. Concerning the Fanny Pack video that I put out about the Fanny Pack holster, somebody commented underneath there that he doesn't recommend you get a holster like that, especially if you have kids. Yes, if you have very young kids, that's not a very secure holster. But when you're somebody like me who has problems using one of his hands, you need to be able to have a holster that you can access without fumbling. And I don't have very young kids, so it works great for me. I did want to say, a couple of you have commented about background music. Your music's too loud, or I don't like that music, or hey, can you do this video and turn the volume down and all? I hear you. Again, making videos is an art. And what I may like, I'm sure there are several of you out there that don't like what I like. So, I'm sorry if some of my videos you didn't like, but I will say that from here going forward, especially now that I have very good microphones, I am not going to be adding music throughout the entire video anymore. So, I wanted to bring that up. Okay, now this one's a hard one to read, but Maralika, MarlikaAWA, commented on my video that I made on my other channel, my Life Post Stroke channel, and it was about Walmart security. And again, that person said the same thing, that they go way too far on their security, and I get it. I've had people on both sides of the fence saying, well, if you don't have security, people are going to, steal stuff all day long, blah, blah, blah. And I get it, guys, I get it. But when you're checking out, I thought that's what they had cameras for, to watch you and stuff. When you walk out of there with 2 or 3 bags and they want to stop and go through all of your stuff, and I say, I've got my receipt right here, and they're like, no, we have to check your bags. That just gets old, really, really old. To be honest with you guys, I don't go to Walmart anymore. Unless it is absolutely necessary, I don't go to Walmart. And that's how you make a point. If they're doing something you don't like, don't use Walmart. So, I did want to mention that comment there, and thank you very much. Again, I already talked about future videos that I'm going to be doing, so I'm not going to rehash that. Plans for the channel. Remember, it all depends on how things go financially. Again, having a tech channel is tough because you have to be able to purchase certain items, like cell phones. I just can't go out and purchase, phones now, especially now that they're upwards of $1,000 a piece. Yeah, I can buy the cheaper ones, maybe. Even there, with the way things are going now, even all of that's on hold. But don't count me out. I am still going to be doing cell phone tech videos, more on the lines of reviewing a cell phone and stuff like that. Hey, if you guys have one of your cell phones that you want to send me to review, and I'll send it back to you, I'd be more than happy to do that. But for right now, I just can't afford to go out and purchase cell phones and tablets and stuff like that. Just the way things are, okay? I want to talk about my Life Post Stroke channel. Again, that channel is where I put everything that I don't put here. So if you guys want to watch some of the videos that I do very little editing on and stuff like that, head on over there, check that channel out. You know, if you don't, I appreciate just you watching these videos. And with that being said, I think I've kept you guys way too long. So I want to thank each and every one of you. If you have any comments, you know, about what maybe I should have talked about on this one, comment below, because I would like to do another one of these videos where I answer your questions. The more variety of questions I have, the better chance I'll be able to get another one of these videos out. So that's all I have. I do want to thank each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. I wouldn't have this channel without you all. And that's pretty much it. Oh, go over and check out Randy at Randy's Rhythm. Again, man, I love his videos. Go check him out. That's all I have. I will see you all on the next one.